what happens when you pitch two of the most broken COs in Advanced Wars up against one another? On one side, we have Kanbei, the CO who pays extra for his troops, but gets a ridiculous bonus to both firepower and defense, with powers that increases this bonus even further. On the other side, we have Colin, the guy who gets less firepower on all of his troops, but they're much cheaper, and his power multiplies his funds, and he can also pop a superpower to get a big boost to his attack. Both of these COs sit in tier 0 of Advanced Wars by Web, which is the broken tier, which means that they don't really get played at all in competitive Advanced Wars. The only exception is Kanbei, who sometimes is played in high funds. So this matchup isn't something we really see between competitive players, unless, you know, we're just talking a casual game that someone is creating for fun. And that is exactly what this game is, except that we're playing with Global League rules. So, Kanbei versus Colin. Who is the most broken out of these two COs? It depends on the map, obviously. Kanbei likes small maps, where battles take place almost immediately, whereas Colin likes big maps, where he can utilize his economy, and especially lots of properties. So what I decided to do is I asked two of my Grandmaster friends, Deegis, as well as Raider Alcaroman, two incredibly strong players on Advanced Wars by Web, to play a game against each other using Kanbei and Colin, and just see what happens. I don't think I have a single video on my channel showing this matchup. I played it against my friends multiple times on the cartridge, but I'm not a Grandmaster. I wanted to see what happens if we put two Grandmasters into this hypothetical. Which of these COs will come out on top? And I think it's going to be a closer matchup than some of you may think. Now, there are some misconceptions about the Colin versus Kanbei matchup and how these two COs work. Because Kanbei is all about expensive, good units, and Colin is all about cheap units, many people think that it's going to be like a battle of numbers, that Colin is going to outnumber Kanbei like 2-1, but that's actually not how this matchup plays. In fact, how it plays is that Kanbei will actually outnumber Colin because his units just won't die. What Colin will is out-tech Kanbei. He'll get Neo-tanks, even Mega-tanks, before Kanbei can even get medium-tanks. And that is how Colin has to win this match, because he cannot really beat Kanbei in the capture game, because his infantry are they're just invulnerable, you know? They have 30% extra defense, and Colin has 10% less firepower. So they will hardly be able to dent Kanbei's troops. Colin has to rely on expensive, high-tech units to drive Kanbei off the field. Whereas Colin doesn't really pop his superpower. Power of Money is kind of bad. What he wants to do is pop his Gold Rush. And Gold Rush is interesting because you can kind of save up interests. You can not deploy units for a couple turns, pop a Gold Rush to get a huge return. Whereas Kanbei, he mostly wants to pop his superpower Samurai Spirit because it essentially makes him invincible for a turn, which can be very hard to deal with. Now, we were very cautious about the map that we selected because we realized that this is a map-dependent matchup. As I said, Colin wants big maps, Kanbei wants small maps, so we picked like one map that is kinda in between. Hope Forlorn is probably one of the most well-known standard maps. It's been around the league forever, and it's a nice balance between not too big and not too small, so we figured this was the most balanced way to check this matchup. But the truth is, if this was a very small map, or if like a mixed-base map like Caustic Finale, Kanbei would just run over Colin. And if it was like a huge map, then Colin might have had the advantage. So I'd say this is the most balanced map that both of these COs could face each other on. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out who wins between Kanbei or Colin. Let us go. So, Hope Forlorn is of course a map that these two players have played to death. I think Deegis and Alcaroman, they both played probably like 20 to 30 games plus on Hope Forlorn, probably even more than that. As I said, this map has just been around forever. It has been theory crafted to death. Both of these players are well aware of the most optimal openers. But of course, I think Deegis actually said that this was like the first time he even plays Kanbei, at least in a format like this. So they're both kind of out of their element in that they're playing COs that they just don't play on the regular. I mean, as I said, like these are competitive players. They play on the league. They don't really play fun noob games. So it's very unusual for them to actually play with these COs. But of course, they are still very strong players. So how they play, they're going to play pretty much perfectly. Okay. So already off the bat, we see a very interesting opener right here. Now, opening up APC on Hope Forlorn, I have seen this before in competitive. It's not like it never happens. But this is exceptionally good for Colin, because his APCs are 20% cheaper, and yet they're as good as any other APC. Colin only gets a penalty to his firepower, not his defense. So his transports are just better. They don't get an increased movement or anything, but opening up transport, I can see why El Karaman chose to do this, because here's the thing, Djus is going to dominate the capture game. He's going to get these cities. There's very little that El Karaman can do to take these cities away from him once they're under his control. So opening up a transport to try and grab contested cities is not a bad idea, because let's just do a little bit of math. It's not something that I like to do normally, but just imagine that Djus sends an infantry onto the city to capture it, okay? He's got 30% defense because he's Kanbei, and then he gets another 30% from the city, so we're up to 60%. And then El Karaman's infantry have minus 10% firepower. The amount of damage that he's going to do to Djus is, he's not probably, he'll be lucky to deal 2 HP of damage to his infantry, tops, and the infantry will strike back, take like 6 to 7 HP off El Karaman's infantry. El Karaman cannot risk a capture battle. That is not a battle he will win. Colin ideally doesn't want to build weak units. He wants to build expensive units. So he wants to be careful and not be left too far behind in the unit count. And as I said, it's very likely that Djus will be having the unit count lead, but what El Karaman can do is he can tack up faster. Opens up a recon. This is a classic opener on Hope Forlorn. Recon on your weak side, send, like, look at the roads. Like, the recon can reach here, it can interrupt these two cities. And I think a Colin recon probably won't do much against Kanbei infantry. I estimate that Kanbei infantry can just continue capping as if nothing really ever happened. So at best, he'll be able to delay the capture with 1 turn. But, you know, that's still okay. So, and yeah, using that APC, moving in, making sure that this infantry can move in next turn. So that's all great. That APC basically gives him the city 1 turn earlier. And that definitely earns himself in. I think Colin's APCs are, what, 3,200? So that's a nice discount that you get on your transport. So definitely want to build them. And they also works as a little bit of a wall against Kanbei. Colin definitely needs as many walls as he can. As a Colin player, you want to build artillery and rockets. Rockets in particular are very good as Colin, because they cost like, what, 12,300, I think, or something like that. And you need the firepower against Kanbei, because you won't be able to break his walls at all. Trying to ram your units into Kanbei's units is just not going to work out for you. So getting some walls, getting some rockets up, very essential when you're playing Colin. But really what Karaman wants to do is he wants to take engagements early to build his power meter, because Colin's normal power, it's so bonkers. It's the reason why he's so broken. 2 stars! And he wants to take engagements early so he can start building up those funds, start getting bombers out, neo-tanks out, ideally even mega-tanks. Colin actually wants to build mega-tanks against Kanbei, because mega-tanks are so broken and they do so much damage that they can kind of equalize the playing field. And I think Colin's mega-tanks, they're like, what, 22,000 or something like that? It's bonkers. It's really insane. So Djus already opening up a tank here. This tank will murder this recon, so this recon needs to be careful. I don't really think it's going to get a lot done. Yeah, this tank will be able to guard all of these infantry, so not really going to get a whole lot done. El Karaman opening up a tank here. I don't really know if you want to open up normal tanks against Kanbei, honestly. I think maybe it's better to just save up money and get some neo-tanks out. You can't really approach this matchup with the normal metagame. It's just not going to work out. Kanbei infantry on mountains, by the way, 70% extra defense. That's just not fun at all. You're not even going to be able to dent them. If he pops his powers, it's like 0% no matter who you attack them with. Djus going artillery. Artillery can be quite strong on Hope Forlorn. And this is an artillery that El Karaman will just never be able to damage. You position this artillery on a city, like, his tanks won't even be able to damage it. It will, the repairs will out-heal the damage done, so... definitely think it's a good idea that he just opens up artillery here. It's not like he can really afford high-tech units to begin with, so probably a pretty smart idea. El Karaman denies this property, pretty smart. Even if this tank chases him down, I think he can get out of the way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, actually. I mean, he can, So if this tank goes here, he can move his recon back there. So I don't know if this is smart. We'll see what Djus decides to do here. But you gotta be careful unless you want to lose that recon. Of course, it's a cheap recon. Here you go. This is more like it. This is what I want to see out of El Karaman right here. Opening up a medium tank, like medium tank day 7. You never see this on Hope Forlorn unless you play Colin or Hachi. So this is definitely what I'd like to see. You can't really win in a tank battle against Kanbei. That's just hopeless. So let's see what Djus decides to do here. He moves his tank forward. Doesn't go all the way down, so that means that, okay, so yeah, that recon actually can escape now if it goes here. Deegis wants to keep his tank so that he can also go into the center if possible. What Deegis wants to do is he wants to grab these 3 properties in the center right now. That's what he wants to do. Of course, grabbing the comm tower early, pretty important. There's going to be engagements taking place pretty quickly. Hope Forlorn is a map that can go into a stall, but it will definitely not be a stall with these 2 COs because they're both COs that really wants to take engagements early on. Like Colin wants to build up his power bar, Kanbei just wants to take engagements to take advantage of his day-to-day. Oh, interesting. Alcaraman just sacks the recon to prevent Deegis from capping. I mean, okay, interesting. I mean, that recon is definitely gone. Using the APC, you love to see it. Artillery out from Alcaraman now, so already has a medium tank and an artillery on the field. If we take a look at their value, we can see that Colin will start to run away with his value, because he just statistically will get more units out on the field with his discount, and especially once his gold rush starts kicking in. But so far, both players are playing this pretty standard. I mean, the only like weird thing about this game so far is the the medium tank on D7, and yeah, that's a one-shot. That's a one-shot, so Alcaraman just sacks the recon to delay Deegis' interruption, or sorry, his cap. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, it might be. It's difficult to say. Deegis goes another artillery, this time on his weak side. I mean, his walls will pretty much never break, so I do see that as a good thing. Now Alcaraman moving his medium tank into the center. Goes for the airport. Bombers is a good investment for Colin. He definitely wants to get high-tech units out that can deal some nice damage. Look at this man. Look at this man. Tank versus infantry. 3 HP of damage. It's horrible. I mean, as Colin, you just... Yeah, I don't know about the tanks. I mean, he does need units. This much is true, but I don't see his tanks being able to do a whole lot in this situation. So we will see Deegis ending up with a income lead for sure, because, like, what is Alcaraman going to do? He won't be able to interrupt these. He just won't. He'll deal no damage, and this is exactly why Kanbei is so strong, especially in the early game. Colin is more of a snowball-y CO, though. So we will see Kanbei taking this game early on, and then it's kind of up to Colin to equalize the playing field with his snowballing powers. And Alcaraman is a strong player, so I'm sure he'll take advantage of this. So in comes the tank. He needs to play so carefully. Look at this. Look at this. Medium tank versus infantry. Wait. What? Oh! Alcaraman! What's going on? Daddy can buy me a new medium tank. It doesn't matter. Oh, I think I see what he's doing. He's trapping him. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is what Alcaraman is going to do. I see the plan now. He's going to only... Okay, look at what he's building this turn. He's going to build infantry. He's going to save up money. He's going to get a gold rush out. This is exactly what he's baiting Deegis right now. He's trying to bait the master baiter. Yeah, look at that. Infantry. Yes. Perfect. This is beautiful. So will Deegis fall for the trap? So you see what Alcaraman is doing right now. He has a very short power meter of 18,000. Once Deegis shoots on his medium tank, that's going to be what, like 10,000 power charge, 12,000 power charge, something like that. That's going to mean he almost has his gold rush. 20,000 in the bank, 18,000 in the bank, 20,000 income. It's going to go up to 38,000 next turn. Then he's going to pop that gold rush and get a massive... This is beautifully played by Alcaraman. This is exactly how you have to play Colin. Question is, will Deegis take the bait? Deegis is not used to playing the broken COs. He doesn't play games like these. He's super good, but he's out of his element. He takes the bait. He shoots on the medium tank. Look at that, Alcaraman. Did he not pay attention to his income? I don't know. Maybe it's just worth it to take it. I mean, it is a medium tank that he's shooting on. But this was definitely intentional by Alcaraman. You can see what he's up to. So, and hey, I mean, he did get to interrupt this property, so maybe it wasn't such a bad idea to do this anyway. Yeah, just look at this. Like, this infantry wall, it's invincible. It's never going to get beaten. Deegis captures his airport. Even takes a shot with a tank right here. I mean, this is just disgusting. Yeah, that's the joint cap. It's so hard to fight against. But look here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a nice turn for Mr. Alcaraman. 38,000 in the bank. Oh yeah, takes a shot with a medium tank. And here we go, from 38,000 to 57,000 funds. I mean, you love to see it. 57,600. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. The amount of units he can buy right now at a discount is just so insane. I mean, what a disgusting CO. Who designed this? So here we go. Also, keep in mind, he gets that nice 10% firepower and defense boost for turn 2. Double Neotank. Bomber, double Neotank artillery. I mean, oh my god, he spends all of his cash exactly. Isn't that just gorgeous? My goodness, look at his value now. 106k to 82k. This is the power of Colin, ladies and gentlemen. This is the power of money. I don't think we're going to see power of money in this game. I would be very surprised. But my goodness, it would be pretty glorious if we could see power of money. That's all I'm going to say. So now, Deegis is capping this property right here. I don't think there's anything Alcaraman can really do to stop him. I mean, his Neotanks will come into play soon enough. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah, so hard for Alcaraman to get any properties. This Bomber, though, it will be useful next turn. Bombers hit very hard, even with Kanbei's extra defense. Deegis has to respond with an anti-air. Lots of artillery coming out of Deegis here. I do think that's a good play. I mean, he knows Alcaraman can't really break his walls. So, there we go. Bomber comes in. Boom, doesn't even kill the infantry. You gotta love it. Oh, man, this is so hard to watch. Feels so unfair, man. He's not dealing damage. But the Neotanks are coming in, and they will definitely equalize the playing field. What can Deegis do against Neotanks? Like, he needs to rely on his artillery and his walls. He cannot afford medium tanks. I mean, he can technically afford one, I think. He has an income of 23,000. So I think Kanbei medium tanks, they're like 18,600 or something like that. I should know this, but I don't remember it at the top of my head right now. Alright, Deegis has 24k in the bank. But he, as I said, you know, he's dominating the capture game. He's taking the center. This is the power of Kanbei, ladies and gentlemen. Battlecopters now coming in. Deegis is doing a good job here, just warding away Alcaraman. He's not even scared of the Neotanks, man. He's not even scared of the Neotanks. He knows that his units are really... Oh my god, it hurts so much. Yeah, he's not backing down at all. 30% extra defense. He's feeling very confident taking these fights. He knows that even Colin's Neotanks will not break through his walls. Tank, 2 infantry, Battlecopter. Yeah, that makes sense. Battlecopters against Neotanks, that's a good response from Deegis, honestly. They deal decent damage. Let's see what Alcaraman decides to do. In comes the Neotanks, finally at long lasts. This artillery isn't quite covering, so Alcaraman can get a free hit here. But look at that, Neotank versus Kanbei tank. 6 HP of damage. I mean, it is disgusting. Does get a kill, though. And this is where Colin starts to, this is where Colin starts to get a little nasty. Like, after his first gold rush, that is when he is statistically at his strongest during the game. But of course, we all know what's coming. The Samurai Spirit is looming. And once Deegis pops that Samurai Spirit, Alcaraman will just have a turn of not being able to do anything. And that is so broken in Advanced Wars. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, Alcaraman setting up that wall, still behind in income, and look at, okay, the unit count, he's actually ahead, slightly ahead in the unit count, also way ahead in value, combined, 135,000 to 109,000. But as a Colin player, that is not comfortable enough. You want to be further ahead. Deegis now has a 6k income advantage, and this is the power of Kanbei. One of the reasons why he's so strong is his capture game. This is one of the reasons why he's almost untouchable in standard play. It's because his infantry just don't die. It's impossible to interrupt his caps. As a result, he'll have a higher income than you, and even though his units are more expensive, he makes up for that by just having more money than you, and this is one of the reasons why defense is so broken. Look at Deegis' positioning right here. These artillery just everywhere. What is Alcaraman going to do to break through this? He has a bomber and his 2 Neotanks, but he can't risk placing those Neotanks in range of artillery. So now Alcaraman has another choice. He can try to build up another turn of income, or he can pop his gold rush immediately. I think he's being pressured now to the point... Look at that, their value is equal again now. Because Kanbei just don't die. Okay, nice. Takes a shot at the anti-air. Interesting. Little sloppy play by Deegis right there, and he pops the gold rush. There you go. 31k in the bank. Not as great as the first gold rush, but it's definitely better. Man, look at Deegis, man. He's just letting his units be hit. That bomber is actually being pretty useful right now. Even takes a shot at the artillery. Yeah, Deegis needs more anti-air here. Colin has begun his battlecopter spam. And now it's actually looking pretty good for Alcaraman, I'd say. I mean, he'll take some shelling from artillery next turn, and yeah, that Samurai Spirit, though. Oof, that Samurai Spirit. It is not going to be pretty, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to do as much damage as he can before the super power comes in. Looking at this positioning right now, I'd say that Colin is definitely in the lead. But that is only as long as the damn Samurai Spirit decides to not get popped. But that is what's going to happen right now. Oh, no, no. Is he not popping it? Deejus, your power is ready, dude. Deejus, why aren't you there you go, Samurai Spirit. Okay. 60% firepower, 60% defense. No, 60% firepower, 50% defense, I think? It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. He won't take damage now. He can just position it. Look at that. 3H. Okay, actually, that dealt less damage than I thought. But look at this. Tank versus Neo Tank. 2 HP each. I mean, who else but Kanbei can do this, man? Who else but Kanbei? So, the power of Samurai Spirit is not really in its offensive capabilities. It gives you as much firepower as a moral boost, give or take. It's the defensive capabilities that is so strong. Those units on cities just won't die. I mean, it's nice, the firepower helps for sure, but this is like a turn where Karaman might just not attack, because Kanbei also gets that disgusting 50% bonus to his counterattack. And it's just gonna ensure that any attack that Karaman makes against Deejus this turn, it's just not gonna do damage, and he's gonna lose his unit. Look at this! Look at this insanity right here! 8 HP Neo Tank versus 8 HP Tank. 5-6! It's trapped! Deejus just trapped it. Beautifully played. Oh, I know, guys, I know, but it's like, I can't help but point it out. Like, 2 HP. It's so disgusting. This guy just doesn't die. This samurai, man. But all El Karaman really needs to do is just hunker down, you know, move back, hold his position. The problem is that he cannot let Deejus take these 2 cities. He's already behind 5k income advantage. That is not a good place to be in Hope Forlorn, even when you are the quote-unquote money CO. Another problem with the Kanbei sky-high defenses is that Colin just won't get power charged this turn, because he won't take any engagements. And ideally, Colin wants to get his gold rush about every other turn. He wants to take constant engagement so he can pop that gold rush. Well, that Neo Tank is bye-bye. It got trapped by the samurais. Great little trap there. Deejus is playing Kanbei a lot smarter than Kanbei is during the campaign, that's for sure. So here we go. So yeah, both of his Neo Tanks are actually gone. They have been dealt with. And now, Deejus is applying pressure to these cities. And this is where it's going to be very hard for Karaman to make any kind of plays here, because he just cannot deal the damage needed. This is very scary. Like, he has to hold on to these 4 cities. He cannot let Deejus take these 4 cities. It's going to be so bad for him if he does. So, day 16. Gold Rush does come in. It's 26k in the bank. It's not a bad Gold Rush per se. Gets a little bit of power charge first. Is he not going to pop it? Ooh, so here's the thing about repairing as Colin. I don't know if I like it. Because essentially, Colin's repairs are 50% more expensive. No, not quite. They're 20% less expensive, but then they're 50% more expensive again. Why do I say that? Well, every gold or every funds that you spend on repairs is a fund that you're not gonna Gold Rush, right? So that means you spend 5k repairing a Neo Tank. That 5k could have turned into 7,500 with Gold Rush, right? So you have to treat Colin's repairs as actually being more expensive, because you're losing out on future Gold Rush interest. As Colin, I'm not saying never repair your units. It definitely is good in certain situations, and it does retain your unit count, which is something you definitely don't want to fall behind in unit count versus Kanbei. But I would be cautious spending too much money on repairs, because again, it's just less Gold Rush money, and he really wants to get some extra power charge here. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not popping it. Is he going to try another turn of saving up Gold Rush? Deejus is applying a lot of pressure though. I don't know if he can really afford that, but yeah, nice wall from Karaman right here. Still utilizing that APC. Oh, I don't know if you want to repair the APC, man. Okay, now he pops it. So I guess he just wanted to generate as much power as he could, so that he could get this next Gold Rush up. 40k in the bank. Rockets. I would maybe try a Mega Tank if I was Elcaro right now. I think a Mega Tank might be what you need here, because it's, okay, goes for a Neo Tank. I guess he couldn't afford one if he wanted that rocket out. I do agree with the rocket as Colin. You need rockets. Especially in a situation like this where Deejus is pressuring so close to your base, a rocket can be nice, but I feel like Deejus is just exerting too much pressure here. and his units are too hard to kill. And he's got too many artillery, which is a very good counter to those Neotanks. Now his battlecopters are coming in. That battlecopter will die. I don't think the anti-air kills it in one shot, though. But the amount of pressure that Aegis is applying to these cities right here, I just don't think... Oh, it gets a low roll against the Neotank. That's unfortunate. But yeah, just really positioning those artillery well, really taking advantage of that increased defense. Aegis is happy to repair his troops because he wants to retain that unit count lead. And repairing Kanbei's troops, I mean, yeah, sure, they're more expensive to repair, but Kanbei doesn't have any money powers that he wants to keep in mind for interest, so... But yeah, El Caro is desperately trying to kill his units. Doesn't even one-shot the battlecopter. That's how broken the battlecopters are. Oh, gets a low roll, too. Tries his best to move in. Bomber has been doing work, but I think it's about to fall. Bomber's almost out of ammo. How often do you see that in a competitive Advanced Wars match? That's pretty impressive. So yeah, and he pops a second gold rush with only 17k in the bank. That's a weak gold rush. That's a very weak gold rush. He's desperate for money. He needs to push Aegis back. So yeah, Kanbei is just... Like, Aegis is just applying too much pressure here. And he's definitely playing well. 2 medium tanks? Maybe. I don't really see them being able to do much. I think a mega tank would have been a better response. But that's how you know a Colin player is behind, when they start popping Gold Rush mid-turn with like low money. That's how you know you're playing well. So let's see right here. They're still, I mean, Colin's still ahead in value, and he's still ahead in unit count as well. But Aegis still has that 5k income lead, and it's about to get even bigger. Boom. Yeah, 28k to 19k. 29k to 18k, 11,000 income advantage, and it's just going to continue. El Caro Man just isn't able to stem the samurai horde. I mean, it's ridiculous. And yeah, you know, I went into this matchup thinking that Colin might be good on this map since it's a rather big one, but looking at it now, I just think that the way it's structured, I think Kanbei definitely has the advantage here. And looking at it, like, sure, Colin is a snowball CO for sure, and that helps, but yeah, well, he gets a nice shot. Rocket against artillery, 4 HP of damage. But you just cannot break walls. And when you cannot break walls in Advanced Wars, you have to use 2 Neotanks to kill an anti-air. I mean, it's ridiculous. Nice attack, though, from El Caro Man right here, I will say. The problem is, he may be able to repel Aegis' attack, but Aegis got what he was after, which was the properties. So Aegis can just sit back and relax right now, and you know what's coming. You know what's coming now. It's the second Samurai Spirit. It's ready. And every time that Samurai Spirit is popped, Aegis is just going to establish more and more dominance over the map. So El Caro Man is playing this well. I'd say he's playing Colin properly. I think maybe it went a little bit too heavy on the tanks to begin with. But 29,000 income right now, that is scary. Aegis not even popping his Samurai Spirit. Why is not popping his Samurai Spirit? Is he flexing, or did he just forget he had it? I don't know why they feel the need to move their units first. But, I mean, these players are better than me, so they probably have their reasons. But is he going to pop it? I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, this would be a good situation to pop it in. Or maybe he's saving it for a later push. I don't know. But yeah, he's almost not taking a single engagement this turn, so maybe he just wants to save it. And I can see that, for sure. Yeah, he just saves it. He just decides not to pop his Samurai Spirit this turn. El Caro Man, of course, is going to take that invitation, and he's going to... Oh, combines. Interesting. Ah, okay. Combines the Neotank. I guess a 3 HP Neotank isn't really going to be able to do anything, but now El Caro Man is trying to retake his cities, which I think is a good idea. I think he's spending too much money on repairs, though, I will be honest. Like, these repairs, they're going to cripple his future gold rush. I can see why. Okay, I like the combining the infantry together, but again, I think, yeah, just all these repairs, man. For every other CO, I would say it's a good choice, but for Colin, it's just going to put you too far behind. I think Aegis is slowly amping up for the kill right now, and yeah, this, I'm pretty sure he's going to pop. Yeah, there we go. Samurai Spirit comes in, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to be a good turn for Colin. Yeah, this is not going to be a good turn for Colin. Yeah, he moves in, tanks comes in, attacks, infantry, more tanks, battlecopters coming in as well. This is the killing blow. This is the coup de grace, as I like to call it. Infantry deals with the medium tank as well. Anti-air comes in as well. He doesn't attack the Neotank, funnily enough. I thought maybe he would, but I guess he's still not playing this cockily. Aegis can get very feisty sometimes. Yeah, I just noticed he built an APC. I didn't even catch that. That is actually hilarious. But yeah, this is, I would say I expect a resign from Alcaraman very soon. Maybe he wants to play a little bit more. No, ladies and gentlemen, he resigns. Well, that was a match, for sure. Now, you know, Deejus is a better player than Alcaraman, for sure. He's 1500. Alcaraman is like 13 to 1400. But I will say that I think Kanbei probably takes this matchup on almost every map. I think maybe if the map was even bigger, then maybe Colin could have had an advantage, but he just cannot kill his units, and that is a problem. That being said, I would have liked to see more Mega Tanks out of Alcaraman in this matchup. I think the first time he popped his Gold Rush and he built 2 bombers, I think I would have preferred to see a Mega Tank and a Medium Tank maybe, instead of 2 Neo Tanks. I think it would have been a better investment, because a Mega Tank just deals so much damage. It can actually kill Kanbei's units. Of course, he just had a lot of artillery, so maybe not. I don't know. It would have been interesting to, you know, see this matchup under different circumstances. Now, obviously, you cannot gauge who is the best CO just from one matchup. There's so many things that goes into, you know, there's so many things that changes the matchup. You know, the skill level of the player, the map that's being played on, and the units that they decide to build. But I will say that out of these 2 COs, Kanbei and Colin, I think we have to give the crown to Kanbei. I think he is the more broken of the 2, unless you're playing on some high funds map or something like that. Trust me, you don't even want to see how disgusting Colin gets in high funds. I've streamed a couple of matches like that before, and it's just not fun. Like, his funds will literally go over 100,000. It's just not fun. But yeah, I think we can all agree there ain't no besting the Samurai when it comes to Advanced Wars. He is just too broken. And it was really fun to see this match. Thank you so much to Alcaraman and Deejus for playing this match for my entertainment, for your entertainment. I hope you guys enjoyed this wild match, and let me know if there's any other weird and wacky matchups you'd like me to cast. Like, maybe you want to see Kanbei versus Hachi. I think Hachi would win that, guys. But like, if there's any matchups that you genuinely like to see that you don't normally get to see because they're just not played, let me know about them in the comment section, and I'll take your suggestions to heart. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Mangs, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.